Guys, Faxi Nadu here. Today we're with the Korg Electribe ER-1 drum machine. We actually have two copies here at the moment. This belongs to us, this belongs to one of our friends. We've got them hooked up to each other and to the computer, and I want to show you a little bit about this box because I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's fucking amazing. It's a great box, especially for the price. I guess when we're looking at all these kind of older gear, we're looking at it in the context of today. So I think it's especially great today because unlike back in the day when you got this new, right now you can find these for like even $100, even sometimes even less. So for the price, you get something that is really great and it really outperforms the price that you get it for. Let's talk a little bit about just the outer box. It's an older machine. It might look a little bit flimsy, but it has proven durable over the years. You know, we have two right here. They both survived. The only thing that I can see on this machine that the knob has been changed. Other than that, they're both in perfect working order, and even with the changed knob, it's still working correctly. So there's no problems as far as durability that I can see. One thing that I've seen a little bit people talk on forums a little bit about these machines is you can this little plug right here, the area where the connector goes into the machine, the power supply. Some people said it can get a little bit flimsy over the years and kind of be problematic. I've not experienced it with either one of these devices myself, so I'm just telling you that that is something that is a little bit out there. For me, it's also the ideal size. It's not too small. It's you know, just right for me. It gets inside your backpack, and on the other hand, it's big enough that you're not, you know, really fiddling around, you know, just right, I think. So before we get into the machine itself, I'd like to get the cons out of the way. So if we're looking at it, at it in today's context, one thing that you can notice is there's no multiple outputs. So while you have many drum channels, and we'll look into that, all the drum channels are going to the master output, whether it be the left and right outputs or the headphones. Everything is going over there together. One thing you can do to separate the outputs, you can kind of do a little tiny trick, is you can pan things, and that way you can kind of sort of, for example, you want to separate the kick drum from all the other drums, so you can pan the kick drum all the way to the left, and then it'll go on the left output, and you can pan all the other things to the right, it'll go on the right output, but then you'll have, you know, a mono synth. You might not care. You might make it stereo with plugins, with delays and stuff like that afterwards. So it might not matter to you. So that's a way to kind of work around the multiple output thing, but that's the best you could do. Another thing is there's no USB for this device, so you're working old school with this. You know, all the new drum machines, everything comes with USB. So for me, I don't mind. I'm cool with old school MIDI. But if you do mind, if it's maybe for a live setup and you're kind of, that's just something to keep in mind, there's no USB on this thing. So let's get into the device itself. So the Electribes came in different variations, in a sampler variation, a synth variation, and different upgrades and different things. This was called the Electribe ER-1. It was the first generation of the Electribes. I actually like this generation the best, I think. In later generations, they added on a lot of things. You might have seen the ones with the tube amps in them, and a lot of additional features that are great, that are cool, but they kind of take away from the instant, you know, access this machine has. This is a really accessible machine. You can just plug it in, and you're making sounds, and it's really quick. Everything is happening at a moment's notice. You know, it's not fiddly at all. So I think this is actually the best module. I'll forfeit the tubes and all the other stuff to get that hands-on, quick sort of approach. I think this is what gives the best results. So you have, basically you have 4 synth drum channels. By synth I mean that the drum channels are in a sort of analog synthesis chain, where you will start with an oscillator and modify the pitch, with envelopes, basically an LFO, which acts kind of like an envelope, decay and everything, just like a drum synth. And then you'll have 2 channels which are audio in, which act as a chopper, and we'll show you that with the radio over here. I'll show you what the chopper does. I have the radio connected into the input and into the first slicer channel. Basically right now when I'm hitting it, it's up. If you listen to the radio, if you listen just to the radio, can you take this out, Os? This, pull it out. So that's what you have in there. And that, now it's getting chopped, and I'll show you how it sounds. And then the other channels that you have is a hi-hat, closed and open, a crash and a clap. And these use just the pitch and the right hand knobs. These are sample based, so they do not use the LFO and the pitch modification, and they do not have like an oscillator choice. So let's get down to the synthesis itself. Let's take a channel for this. For example, this would be the kick drum, and if we solo just this and press play, this would be the sound, and we can modify it any way we like using the controls. So if we want to keep it as a kick drum, you know. Now I'm going to kind of change it from a kick drum. I want to show you how quickly the design of this machine lets you take use this subtractive sort of synthesis thing that it's got going here to get really quickly different variations of drum sounds. So if you have a sort of kick drum going on right at this moment, you can really quickly change it into a sort of snare sound. So if, for example, if we go, let's do that. Let's say we got the kick. Let's draw it in. Let's give us some. Over here you can set the length. As you notice, it's 16 steps, but times 4. So if I play right here, now it's told to go twice on the sequencer. It's told to be 32 steps. Let's tell it to be just 16 steps, which I do by pressing shift, pattern length. It's really, really easy. And now let's play. So let's get this kick a little bit cleaner. So let's say we got this kick drum really quick. And let's add this. So right now it's a little blurb, right? And we're adding the kick drum to this. So we have, oops, you know, kick and snare on every offbeat. So let's change it to a snare drum, and it's just want to show you how really quick it is. So you can really quickly, you know, it's pretty realistic drum sounds, you know, it's not bad. And you still got that crunchy, messed up kind of analog drum sound, so it's pretty nice. And you can really quickly, what I love about this machine is you can really quickly, as you play, change the sound. So you can have this going. And depending on the type of LFO you use, the sound will really change. Now as you notice, the palette is really large. You can make absolutely almost anything. You can make tonal sounds as well once you open the decay a little bit, and you know you can actually tune it, make tune sounds. One of the cool things is I'll show you how you can, before we get into some of the delay and stuff like that, you can also record automations, and which are really easy to do. So right now we've told it to be over one loop, so if I press record, it will record my knob movements over this one loop. If it was on 4 loops, then it would record it on all the 4 loops. So obviously the bigger of a loop you make, the more automations you make, there will be more variation, but let's do this just for this. So let's say we have this sort of snare thing going, right? So let's record movement on the type of LFO, for example. So we have to turn on the, sorry, we have to turn on the, there we go. Now it'll do that. Now we can add layers of automations, you know, we can do. So obviously on such a short loop it's kind of silly, but if we take something, let's take just, let's do this. So I'm just gonna jam record. We have this thing, for example. Oh, nope, this thing. Nope. Yeah, this thing. So, let's say. Now as you notice, it's 4 bars, so now it's doing what I did. Oops, I killed it. There we go. Oh, I killed it somehow. Oops. Another cool thing is the tempo, sort of tempo delay. You can have it on tempo, or you can have it just kind of free flowing. But this delay is really cool. It's on everything. You have to put it on all the parts. You can get really glitchy things. Now you can automate this as well. So, for example. Now it's playing the automations on the delay as well. It's pretty cool. And now we can put it in the other box, which is synced to this box. Now I have put a low cut filter on this box because I don't really know what's going on here. I just wanted to demonstrate, so I don't want it to play kick drums as well. So this will be playing actual drums, and this will be doing sort of more effect things. I just put it over here. I just put a low cut on the second one. That's the only effect. So the second one would be going, and then this would be the first one. So I'm just, really kind of jamming around. I just want to show you the richness and the possibilities with this thing. We've used it a ton already. We've owned this before, and now owning it again. We're using it again lots. Want to show you just, this channel, which is pretty cool. A pretty cool thing. we solo this. And where'd it go? Radio. There we go. So you kind of put it on some channel. Ah, there we go, because it's on. Wait a second. One. There we go. So the radio is really cool, a cool random thing that you can put in here. And you can obviously, of course, automate this as well. So you can go. And obviously with some effects, you know. So, to all you guys that think that that dissed me for dissing the Rhythm Wolf, this is my answer. Good luck getting all these tones and sounds from the Rhythm Wolf that you got for like, you know, the price where you could get 4 of these and go totally insane. So I recommend this machine, absolutely recommend it for everyone, especially for the price they go for. Spend $100, get something fun. You notice that even through doing the review, I'm kind of losing myself and, you know, just enjoying the machine. You know, it's just a pleasure to work with. And go get yourself one, guys. So Korg ER-1, this one is a winner. See you later, Faxi Nadu.